Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Jack of All Trades. Today I wanted to talk to you about when you go into welding and why would you want to? Well, for me, it allowed me to make some extra money. It allowed me to take time off to go do other things because of making extra money. Plus, it allowed me to just enjoy some of the things that I enjoy doing. I like building things and having my own business, kind of making my own schedule and so forth, and just everything encompassed on that. And so that's why I did it. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is just if I had to start all over again from scratch, I had no tools, no nothing, what would I do? How would I do it? And I started my business back in '09. 2009. I officially made it in 2016 when I went and got a DBA, but I've been doing it since 2009, and I've learned a lot of things along the way, some do's and don'ts, some things that work and don't work, and so I just wanted to share that with you guys today. And if I had to start all over again, I would have a game plan to do that. Right off the top of my head, and I know exactly how I would do it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And you may want to go for business for different things. Maybe you just want to do some extra work, make a little extra money, or you may want to turn into full-fledged, I want to make good money from here on out. And you can do that. And maybe you're tired of the 9 to 5 schedule. Maybe it's just having to work for someone else, having to answer, and not dealing with all that. So maybe that's the reason. So whatever it is, I hope this video I can help you out today, because that's my goal, is to help you guys out, teach you things that I've learned over the years, teach you things that that were taught to me from some good people. I had some really good men teach me a lot of things in my life, and I hope I can pass that on to this new generation, to my children as well, and so I look forward to sharing these things with you guys. All right, so let's start off. What if I had nothing? What's the first thing I would need? Well, first thing you got to have, hands down, is a vehicle. So I'll tell you right now, when I first started, I had a 1990 Bronco, just an old Bronco. And I had a trailer. It was a 5x12 trailer, and I built a little rack on it so that I could carry 20-foot sticks up there. So you can imagine 12 feet. I have to stick out a little bit on each end, but it worked, guys. It works, and I got the job done. And so that's kind of what I would tell you. If you can get a little SUV or maybe a small pickup, if that's all you can afford, then that may be the way you want to go. If you can put a little rack, a headache rack or something on it, and maybe a rack to be able to carry 20-foot sticks. Or if you want to go with the trailer, I would suggest the trailer, even if you do have a small pickup, because getting to your equipment is a lot easier on the trailer. I did try a truck one time, not a flatbed, which I ended up turning it into a flatbed, and that works great. But if you don't want to do that, turn it into a flatbed, I would suggest a trailer, because it's a lot easier to work off of. And if you build a rack on a trailer, then you can carry that 20-foot sticks. So that would be my suggestion for you guys. Now let's start at the very beginning, or let's talk about the vehicle. We already know you got to have something to pull the trailer. Maybe a couple of 1,000 pounds, and most vehicles will do that pretty easy. Now, so decide what kind of vehicle you want. Now, when I first started, all I had was a little welding machine. And here, look at this picture here, and I'm going to talk about these welding machines here. So let's go over here and look at this. Let me pull these up. Now, right here, you'll see. Now this is a welder that you could get away with right here. This is a 4,000 watt continuous power. It's a Hobart, and it welds up to 530 seconds, which is more than plenty, guys. I usually only weld with 1/8 rod, 60-10, 70-18. That's all I use. Okay, and I buy that at the welding shop. But you could easily do it with this welder. Now, if you want to get a little bit bigger welder, that's fine. You can do that. And so, just something to think about. But if I was just starting out, guys, just starting out, this is probably what I would buy if I was really on a tight budget. So get me a vehicle, a trailer, one of these welders. And the good thing about these welders is you can take it, roll it in the backyard if you need to, if you're doing work. And this is good. Even if you get a bigger welder later, save this welder, because it'll allow you to get in those hard to reach places when you need it. And it can also give you that second welder if you need it, and also a generator. So it's very valuable. So if you start off with this one, you can't go wrong. I'll just tell you that right now. And here's an image of a trailer that I'm kind of talking about. I have a toolbox on it. This one shows a compressor, but you don't really need, I mean, it'd be nice to have a compressor, okay? But me personally, I wouldn't start off with a compressor. I would get rather an oxygen acetylene torch. And you notice the big welder up there. Now, if you get a welder, guys, I'm going to tell you what right now. You might look on Facebook too, or Craigslist, stuff like that. If you can get a good used welder at a cheaper price, then go for it. I mean, that's something you can do. Get you a game box on there, and then if you can use that game box as a little welding table. In fact, if you take a steel plate, and now this one's aluminum, but if you got a steel game box, you can pick up one at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and get you some 1/8 plate, weld up on it, and then weld a vise on it, or bolt a vise, I should say, on there. And now you've got a really nice little welding table on the back that you can work on. And then you got you can get you a good welder, and so forth. So that's something that you can do right there, and that'll get you started. Now, the next thing, let's talk about this right here. This is oxygen acetylene torch, and I trust Hobart, guys. Hobart's a good product. I mean, it's not the top of the line. It ain't Victor, okay? Now, if you can afford Victor, go for it. And again, look and see if you can find those deals on Amazon, or not on Amazon, but rather Craigslist used, where people might be getting rid of it. Make sure it's in good condition. If you're not sure, take someone with you that's a welder, and he can look them over and test them out for you, make sure the gauges are good and so forth. And you know, there you go. You got a nice little setup there of oxygen acetylene. And then the other thing I would suggest with the bottles, when it comes to the oxygen acetylene bottles, you can really find a lot of good deals on your Facebook and Craigslist. In fact, we found some really good deals on there, and that's the only way I buy them now. It's better to do that than to lease them, because if you lease them, I think it costs more in the long run. But if you buy them straight from somebody, you usually get a really good deal like that. Okay, and then let's look at something else you're going to need, guys. You're going to need, now, you need a ladder. Notice here, this is a nice little ladder. This little A-frame extension ladder holds 330, because you're going to need it sooner or later. I'm amazed how many times that I have to use a ladder. So many times on the job sites, you gotta, you know, there's just you have to have a ladder to go up there. So there's something else you need to buy. Okay, and then you've probably seen this in my video, guys. This is a little roller hammer. I would suggest getting something like this. Now you can get a corded one, guys. You might be able to find one cheaper, but this is the one I would probably buy if I was doing it, if I was starting all over again. I have a bigger one, but I'm looking to get this one myself because it's just so small, compact, but it does drill up to 1 inch, and it does have all 3 modes. It has drill, hammer, and hammer drill, and so that's what you want, because you can chip with it and everything, and then also you can drill with it. And I was pretty amazed. A friend of mine pulled this out, and we were using his instead of my big one, and it actually worked really good. And so You know, for like chiseling out asphalt and stuff, I'd rather use mine. But this one would probably do it. I haven't used mine's SDS Max. This is SDS Plus, but I do have the adapter to do the SDS Plus. So if you can afford the bigger one, great. You know, by all means. And then the next thing here, now that I want to talk about this a little bit here. This is a grinder. This is a DeWalt grinder. This is a corded one. I showed you this, guys, because I know this one, even though this one's like $200, it's a 6-inch grinder, and that's one of the things I would recommend to you guys if you're getting a grinder. But I also want to show you this with the grinder is these wheels, these flapper wheels, and the best price that you can get them is on Amazon. And I buy these right here. Notice here, these are I don't even know how to pronounce that, but they're 4.5 inch 80. You can get them 80 grit or 40 grit. Notice the price though, $20. And that is for, I believe, 10 of them. Okay, so that's $2 a piece. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you're paying probably triple that. Okay, and that'll save you a lot of money, guys, if you're looking at that. And then also, let's take a look at these. These are the 6-inch. These 6-inch cutoff wheels are awesome, guys. And for the price, notice you get 25 of them for $31. That's just a little over $1 a piece. It's not even $1.50 a piece, and you can't beat that price. I order these all the times. I get the 6-inch. That's why I said get a 6-inch grinder, and you can do all kinds of cuts with this thing that allow you to do it in the field. And so this is one of those. Get that grinder, get these wheels and flappers, and you're set to go. Okay, guys. So check that out. All right, next, for as far as cutting, I found this Evolution here, and the reason I did this one because I have the Milwaukee M18, and that one's pretty expensive, guys. It was about $800. I think that came with a battery pack though, but they're still like $500–600 just bare tool. So this Evolution though is a corded one, and they do make a Milwaukee corded one as well. But I think this Evolution is really good price. It's like $300, and that'll get you going. Now you got all your cutting tools with you. You got your oxyacetylene. You got the saw, and you also have the grinder. Now, what's amazing about this Evolution, which I didn't know before, is that it actually cuts up to 3 inches, where the Milwaukee only cuts up to 2 9/16, which might as well just say 2.5. So this does give you a 1/2 inch more cut than the Milwaukee. So you might want to look into that as well. Now, let's look at everything here. Let's look at the whole package. Yeah, we got and you may wonder, why do I need a hammer drill? Well, I'll tell you. You go out on a job site, and you're going to have to. Let's say you're making gates. You're going to make a gate, you go install it on people's house. A lot of times you got to drill into the brick, and or you may have concrete, and you got to put a little base plate with an anchor bolt. You're constantly using a rotor hammer or hammer drill to do that. And so you're going to need that, guys. It's a must. Now, here's something else that you might want to get pretty soon, if you haven't gotten it already, as you're doing it, is a MIG welder. And I'll tell you that Miller 211 is pretty nice, guys. Let's take a look at that real quick. Miller 211. This thing is $1,500, okay, which is actually a really good price. And that thing welds beautiful. I have a video on that where I demonstrated it, but it's a beautiful welding machine. It's dual power. It runs off 220 or 110, and I'm going to tell you what, it runs good on 110. You can't do the bigger, thicker stuff on it, or at least not as many amps. But even on 110, if you're doing wrought iron, you're doing gates and stuff, this is phenomenal. This thing works great. And something else that you want to get if you're doing gates and stuff is build you some sawhorses. Build you some sawhorses. And I like to build them. I have some here at the house that I call it my mini garage or my mini shop. And I work out of the garage. If I'm just going to build a little gate, I'll just build it here at the house. I got my Miller 211 here, and I can build it real easy. can cut everything here because I got everything on my truck, and I can take that little 211 and weld it right here. With those sawhorses though, I got them 6 foot long here, and I made them out of 2" by 4" rectangular tube on top. And I make sure you make them exactly the same height, you know. And when you put your steel up there to build your frame and stuff, it just sits on there really nice. It's really easy to build these for your gates and stuff. It makes it real nice and nice and flat. Gives you a nice, you know, you're not getting crooked on your I see people try to build stuff and it gets crooked on it. You want to keep your gate nice and straight, so when you put it up, it sits nice and straight as well. So I would suggest build you some sawhorses. So that's something else that you can add to the list here. But let's go back to the overall list. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you want to, and that way you have it of everything you would need to get started, minus the vehicle and minus the sawhorses. But so if you're getting started, guys, this is how I would start. And I would also look again for deals and on Facebook and Craigslist. So I hope this, if you guys are getting started, I hope this video helps you. I hope you know that you're able to get those good deals and get started going, guys. So hope you enjoyed it, and you guys keep up the good work, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.